Hi guys, it's Chris at Cork and Crown, back in my cider shed with some more cider to try. And in the last episode, we had a can from Luke Cider, and we liked that can. We liked it very much. And in this episode, we're going to have another can, but it's not from Luke. Oh no, although I am going to try and get some more of that stuff. It is from Kentish Pip, and we've had a few big bottles from these guys before. I think Discovery, a few different ones anyway. I think primarily they use dessert culinary apples, because they're in Kent, and that's traditional for that part of the world. These guys are near Canterbury, I believe. What else we have? Well, we had that blend they did with Ross on Wye. It was the, they provided the Bramley. I can't remember what was in it from Ross on Wye. I want to say Dabbler, but I might be wrong. But by God, it was 50-50 blend. The Bramley in that was like super acid. It was kind of crazy. I kept going back for more because it was bonkers. But I enjoyed it very much. So what's this all about then? The Dappler Wild and Fresh Dry Cider. What does it say? What does it say? We don't know, Chris. What does it say? I'm trying to find out. Give me a second. I found something out. It's 5.5% by volume. Dappler is a vivid and complex weave of wild and fresh apples. A contemporary dry cider with flecks of bright green and red apple bouncing off youthful tannins. Crafted from two wild fermentations marrying full fruit varieties Charles Ross, Zari and Greensleeves with Major, Kingston Black and Browns. Now I think what they've done there is those are two sort of quite modern eating apples. And the last three, Major, Kingston Black and Browns, if you know anything about cider or you've watched this for long enough, you'll know that Major is a bittersweet, Kingston Black is a bitter sharp and Browns is a sharp, and they're all proper cider apples. This is two fermentations of culinary and cider apples, which have been blended to create one drink, which apparently is wild and fresh. And it's called Dappler. Let's open. Oh, by the way, the other thing I've got in here. So this is a glass of Tattinger champagne I've got in here. My wife just brought it to the shed because it's her birthday and she'd opened a bottle, so she wanted to go cheers, chink. But she left me alone in my shed to do this. So I love my wife very much. She's very kind to me. Cheers, darling. Happy birthday. Tattinger. Okay, let's open this Dappler and see what's going on. Got it. Wait. Ooh. Slightly explosive. As I recall, the Luke's was a bit less explosive than that. This seems to be a bit fizzier. Let's pour it out and find out. So I imagine it's going to be paler in colour as well, because you're blending sort of like culinary apples with the cider apples. The cider apples tend to give you more colour. And yes, indeed, it's pretty much bang on in the middle, isn't it? That. It's neither very, very pale nor very, very amber. It's a pale gold, a very nice pale gold, bordering on amber. Pretty thing though. It's a lovely gold colour, that. Easy on the eye. Almost got a pinkish hue to it as well, I want to say. So it's making me think like Gewürztraminer pink. If you know anything about sort of Alsatian wines, you'll know what I'm talking about. They've almost got a sort of strange pinkiness to them. It's always got that going on. Let's smell it. Let's smell it. I love the fact it's wild yeast. Brilliant. So, it smells like a 50-50 split. That's what it smells like to me. You've got that fresh, bright, perfumey, floral character from the eating apples on the one hand, and just on the other side you've got that slightly sort of darker, more earthy, sweated, skin-like character from the cider apples. And it's actually really interesting. It's really nice. I like that. It is a nice blend. It is a nice blend. On the nose. I haven't drunk it yet. So hold your horses. Yeah, delicate, perfumey with perfumey light and fresh with dark undertones. I quite like that. It's got personality. Personality goes a long way. Somebody told me. Okay. It is a little bit more effervescent than the Luke's we had in the last film, but still nicely, still good though. Very nice. Mousses up. It's got to give it a creamy texture. It's not irritating my tongue. It's good. There's fresh, bright acidity, which is what you'd expect, bordering on malic, sort of lime character from what I assume are going to be the eating apples. And then just in the background, there's just a hint of like toffee, something a bit darker, a bit deeper, a bit richer. Yeah, it's on palate. It's doing the same thing. You want a kind of like malic lime character, but then just it's offset by that kind of slight toffeed, earthy character that's brought in there by the and like sort of baked apple character, poached apple character, and brown sugar and butter kind of thing. It's brought in by the cider apples. There's not much tannin, very little tannin in fact. What was it? Kingston Black, Browns, and what was it then? I can't remember now. Kingston Black, Browns, and was it Yellington Mill? No, Major. Oh, Major's got reasonable tannins as well. So actually, but actually a sharp and a bitter sharp. So yeah, that would bring the acidity. So you'd expect this to be a little bit more acid and a bit less tannic, but I'm not getting a lot of tannin from the Major. Or the Kingston Black. There's a hint of it. Not a great deal. I think I might have liked a little bit more of that. But I think I'm being picky. I mean, I tend to prefer cider apples, cider made from cider apples and cider made from culinary apples. There are notable exceptions. Turners, obviously. And I have to say, these guys do some cool stuff as well. And Nightingales, really added some really cool, interesting stuff. This is nice. And that blending has added an interesting layer to this. It's subtle, but there's nothing wrong with subtlety. Subtlety is quite hard to attain, so I respect that. And actually, they're experimenting. They're doing some cool stuff. And I just think that little bit of depth of flavour, that little bit of sort of deeper golden colour, makes this massively stand out from a lot of ciders that are out on the shelf that are made from dessert and culinary apples. Good stuff. 2 ciders in a can, 2 successes in my book. Very, very good indeed. All right, guys, thank you for joining me in my shed. I hope you join me again. But until then, I'm going to drink this Tattinger and say cheers.